as the trucks begin to pull out from their pit road stalls and line up behind the Toyota Camry pace car. Here's your Camping World track description. Built in 1959, Daytona International Speedway is a 2.5-mile tri-oval, 31 degrees, 4-story banking in the corners, 18 degrees in the tri-oval.
All that said was the best track in the world. That's what this place is.
Here's your NextEra Energy Resources 250 race analysis. Brought to you by Shell Rotella Motor Oil.
The important part of the pit window, 32 to 36 laps. We could see green flag pit stops. Whenever we do, we always see a lot of people speeding on pit road here, especially a lot of the young drivers.
And the traffic to pit road off turn 4 gets very tight. Watch for some action there as well.
Here's your starting lineup. 5th career pole for Ty Dillon, first at Daytona. 2003 Series champ Travis Kvapil's back. Row 2, Tyler Reddick makes his best Daytona start. Austin Theriault, his Truck Series debut, starting 4th. 2012 champ James Buescher, and last year's Rookie of the Year Ben Kennedy in Row 3. Eric Jones, 4 wins in 17 starts. This is his first one at Daytona. Chris Fontaine, his second career top 10 start. Scott Lagasse Jr., his first start in the series since 08. Spencer Gallagher, 3rd at Talladega last year.
We see Travis Kvapil up there in that 94 truck on the front row. Let's see if we can chat with Travis. Hey, Travis, Kvapil, Phil Parsons up in the Fox Sports 1 booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Phil. How's it going?
Good, buddy. How can you take a brand new team and put that thing on the front row here at Daytona?
Just a testament to the hard work these guys did. Premium Motorsports, Jay Robinson, John Monson-led team, veteran crew chief, and just assembled a great group of guys. A lot of hard work, a lot of hours. I got pretty much a decent amount of experience around here, especially in these truck series. So put it all together, and here we are.
All right, buddy. You got a couple of runner-up finishes here. Good luck tonight.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks. All right, Travis. Pit road.
Back of the lineup, Timothy Peters, backup truck. Along with also going to the back will be Norm Benning, based due to adjustments, and Daniel Suarez, adjustments after qualifying. Riding with a champ there. Matt Crafton, we're ready to race. We'll race 100 laps at Daytona International Speedway tonight. Let's have a look at our Fox Sports onboard cameras.
Why don't we just ride along with our 2-time champion, the only guy ever to go back-to-back, Matt Crafton, the Menards Toyota for ThorSport Racing. Problem is he's going to start back in the last row, had issues during qualifying.
Eric Jones has never started at Daytona, but don't worry about this 18-year-old. In his only big track start, he got 6th at Talladega. He's going to race from inside the top 10 in the Toyota Care Toyota.
We're also going to ride along with Austin Theriault in the Cooper Standard Ford for Brad Keselowski Racing. This is his first start in the Camping World Truck Series ever, and he will start from the 2nd row, outside row, position number 4.
Let's just go right to the pole. Hop on board with Ty Dillon. He's going to start the Ring Jim Ayres Chevy from the pole position. He has 3 truck wins, but they're all on 1.5 miles. Can he stretch it out and grab the big win here at Daytona? He's got a prime starting spot.
Let's get late breaking news from pit road, beginning with Hermie Sadler.
Well, Mike, Timothy Peters finished 2nd at Daytona last year, won at Talladega last fall, brought the same truck here. Why is he starting 32nd? Because of what happened in qualifying here earlier today. Goes on the racetrack. You can see him waiting towards the end of that line to go into the racetrack. But once they get up to speed, watch what happens. Trying to pass Norm Benning, going into turn 1, gets clipped by Norm into the wall, destroys the back of this truck. They go to a backup truck. They just got the backup truck together on the racetrack. In fact, they were rolling it on pit road as they were singing the national anthem, and he's now come back to pit road, making final adjustments on the steering column of that backup truck. So if he's going to win tonight, he'll have to come from the back to do it. Vince?
Well, the busiest man at Daytona during Speed Weeks has been Ty Dillon. He's pulling triple duty. Camping World Truck Series tonight, Xfinity Series tomorrow, and they'll make his first ever Daytona 500 start on Sunday. It's been a dream week for the 22-year-old. Tonight, he starts from the pole. Winning would make it even more magical for Ty Dillon. Matt Yoakum?
Vince, 2014 was an impressive season for Rookie of the Year winner Ben Kennedy. Career best finish of 3rd at Martinsville. But it was when he led the 52 of the 100 laps here at Daytona that he really began to turn heads. In the offseason, he moved over to Red Horse Racing, joining up with veteran Xfinity crew chief Scott Zipadelli, a 3-time winner in that series. They're hoping for good things. They've already gelled well. The truck could do whatever he wanted in practice. He'll roll off 6th. Mike?
Thanks, Matt. One driver made a late pit stop as they came around on that penultimate pace lap. That was Johnny Sauter. It looked like not sure what they did. He was only stopped for about 4 seconds.
In and out. I don't know what the problem was with that truck, but some sort of issue.
There he is next to rookie Daniel Hemrick.
And he's actually regained his starting position up here, up in the 10th row.
Look at those trucks so high up off the ground, Mike. You can see 4 or 5 inches underneath that splitter. Soon as they hit the gas and the aerodynamics take effect, springs and shocks, that baby will be dragging.
Herbie, what about Johnny Sauter?
He had to come down pit road, Matt. They left the cap on top of the fuel filler area on this truck, and so they had to come down pit road and take that off. They were worried about, not being able to fuel the truck and what kind of issues it may cause. So they have apologized to Johnny, new team, new crew chief, and they put that behind them and ready to get started.
32 trucks, 100 laps, 250 miles.
These first 10, 12 laps, Mike, are really tense for these racers. The ones on the outside are probably going to try to fight to the bottom, but that's what it's going to be, a fight to get down there, because the low road around early seems to be the fast way around.
Usually the yellow line is your friend.
Keep it low and left, like the pace car does, heading for pit road. And the 32 truck field addresses itself to the starting line. Green flag, we're racing in Daytona.
You hear that sound? That's what we've been waiting all winter for. We're going racing in the trucks.
Pretty even at the exit of 2. Travis Cropper's pulling that outside line along. Dead even with Ty Dillon.
Dillon and Reddick on the inside, trying to gain a little advantage as they form up 2 by 2. Who will lead the first lap?
It's not going to be one of those 2 trucks right there, that red and white truck. That's Timothy Peters, the 17 Matt Craft in the 88. They were already at the back. They said, why don't we run together here? Maybe we'll avoid something happening up front.
And sometimes we see stuff happen up front, but right now it's Ty Dillon who's going to lead them to the start-finish line.
Dillon, Reddick, Quapple, 1, 2, 3. Travis Quapple on the outside, trying to get some help there from Terrio in the 29 as you ride along.
There's Legacy Jr. down on the bottom of the track in that 20 truck. Infrequent competitor in the truck series, but has 6 starts here at Daytona. It's one of his favorite tracks, and he's taking advantage of it right now. Talked about the bottom line maybe being the preferred groove so far. You're seeing that play out.
Yeah, Terrio, the 29, was behind the 94 of Quapple. He jumped down to the inside and has already made his way by Quapple.
Whoa, look at Travis Quapple just... Whoa, that was close. Pulled right over in front of J.J. Cobb. She was able to avoid contact.
What an outstanding qualifying job by Jennifer Jo Cobb here earlier this afternoon.
Justin Marks being posted, we're told by NASCAR. Black flag at the ready, changing lanes before the start.
Probably a situation where Justin wanted to get to the inside like Michael was talking about. You have to wait till you go by the start-finish line. Undoubtedly, he didn't do that.
Now, last night in the Sprint Cup Series race, Michael, your teammate Clint Boyer employed a strategy of hanging out back for more than the first half of the race, trying to stay out of harm's way, and that strategy served him very well.
Yeah, he was able to fight to the front late in the race. The only problem, I employed that same strategy in the second race, Mike. I was in 3 wrecks. Every time you hang in the back, when there's a wreck, you got to go through it. Sometimes those wrecks you aren't so fortunate to avoid, so that's a risky strategy. If you start up front, I like staying up front, Phil. If you get shuffled to the back, I'm okay with doing what Crafton and Peters are doing right now. Fall well back from the pack. Just keep them in sight, but don't get too close so you can avoid a crash if it happens. Look at that. They're well back.
First 11 trucks are single file. Do they have a chance to get away from the field?
No. They don't even have a chance to get away from Crafton and Peters. You see just coming off turn 2 there. That's how big of a hole these trucks punch in the air, meaning the trucks behind can use that void in the air to use that power to drive up and catch up.
Especially when they run side by side, Mike, like they're doing right now.
And that's what makes this race always one of the most exciting of any speed week.
Yeah, and right now these guys are patient. They're just hanging out, logging laps. Now, I say that, we're side by side at 190 miles an hour. How patient are you if that's the case? But the intensity will just pick up. It'll ratchet up lap after lap. Guys know they've got to get to the front to be able to win, and they'll start side drafting and bumping each other in order to try to gain that track position.
Now we see those 8 trucks on the inside single file putting a little bit of distance on the double file trucks behind.
David Gilliland, that 92 truck, is leading that back. He has Johnny Sauter, that 98, right behind him. Tucked up a little bit of bump drafting going on there. But they're not able to make the move by Jennifer Joe Cobb, Mike.
And Cameron Haley in the 13 down on the inside.
Ray Black Jr. filling that hole as well. If you're on the bottom, you're just trying to keep yourself positioned behind the truck in front of you, thinking that that's going to be the best line early in the going, and so far it's proven true.
We're listening to rookie Daniel Suarez in the 51.
We don't need to get any closer to the field than what we are right here, Daniel. Just work your throttle, whatever you need to do here. Just maintain that distance.
It's about 2 seconds from the first to the second pack, which is led by Suarez.
And if Suarez left the throttle on the floorboard right now, Mike, he would catch that pack in 2 laps. He would be the fastest truck on the track. That's a nice, tight draft. They've got a great gap ahead of them. They could close on them in a hurry. They're 2 and 3 wide up ahead.
Here we go. Johnny Sauter right up through the middle.
See how the trucks start to buff it around a bit? Sideways off turn 4.
That was that black truck of Ben Kennedy there, the 11.
And that hung David Gilliland in the black and white. Ford there out to dry and to the back.
And anytime your truck does what Ben's did off turn 4, it's just a wake-up call. All right, you know, this thing's going to get more intense. There's going to be some more of that. Just settle down and relax. Drive through it.
Ty Dillon has led every lap from the pole. Herbie?
So far, so good, Mike, for the 33 of Ty Dillon. Doing triple duty this weekend, made it to the Daytona 500 as well as the Xfinity Series race tomorrow as well. Been right at the bottom of the racetrack, and his spotter is Billy O'Day. A lot of experience at Daytona. He's told him to stay on that yellow line. They think they can go right around 30 to 32 laps under green flag conditions for fuel if it goes that far, Ben.
Well, and right behind Ty Dillon is the 19 of Tyler Reddick, and he's just 19 years old. He did run this race a year ago, and he said that gives him confidence and a bit of a comfort level for tonight, even though he ran just a part-time schedule a year ago. On the spotter stand, they told him, nice and patient. It's just a Friday night drive. I think it's a little more intense than that.
That's a Friday night drive right there, boys. It's a crazy Friday night.
Ty Dillon's led every lap so far. Last year, Ben Kennedy led the first 52 laps of this race. In the east banking of this super speedway, Johnny Sauter in the outside lane. You're watching from the Goodyear blimp as he got up side by side for 4th. And now that outside lane has drifted back to about 8th spot, and now Sauter has some company just ahead. He'd made a lot of ground and gave a lot of it back.
He had moved up to battling for the 5th spot with Scott Lagasse. Now Spencer Gallagher, the 23 truck, has jumped to the outside with Johnny Sauter to see if they can make some ground now.
I like that move by Spencer Gallagher. I was kind of hoping when he got to the back of Eric Jones, maybe Eric would do it. But we got to learn, Phil. You know, there's one thing about riding in line, and that's great if you're experienced and you know what you're doing. Cat like Spencer Gallagher, we better get out and mix it up, see what it's going to take to make these passes. He knows he's going to wind up in a position where he's got to make some ground. Let's learn early what it's going to take.
He's one of 13 drivers making their first ever truck series start here at Daytona, but he does have a little bit of experience in the ARCA Racing Series. Watch him right side of your screen get a little bit loose off of 4.
Oh man, that just takes your breath away because you just know how close you are to wiping out. Anytime you're in the draft, you make those drastic moves, Vince, things can get exciting quickly.
And Michael, and the amazing thing is he didn't have anything to say after that moment, if you will. You would think maybe the normal person would be screaming on the radio, but he wasn't. Very calm, cool, and collected. Just 9 races last year, but he finished 3rd at Talladega, so he's got a little bit of skill level at this plate track super speedway type racing.
He might not have said anything, Vince, but he changed lanes. I don't think he liked where he was. And he might not have said anything because he couldn't speak. That stuff will take your breath.
He probably said, I'm a little bit too loose on the bottom. Let me move to the high side, see if my truck will settle down a little bit.
He and Sauter are trying to pull that outside lane back toward the front, but they are still mired.
Oh, got a spinner. Austin Hill, the 82. It looks like he got hit from behind.
I'm behind. Just hang on here.
And they keep crashing Ben Kennedy.
You're good down low.
Joe Nemechek, the 8.
Stay up high here.
Truck also involved.
Austin Hill was running in the 11th spot, and that thing just turned around going into turn 1. I cannot believe that he spun out right in front of Chris Fontaine. And I think Fontaine slipped through. I don't see how. We've got to see a replay.
Yeah, a lot of damage.
Nemechek's truck and how bad that was.
There's Austin did a nice job in the ARCA race, had a top 15 finish.
Oh, big troubles for
Neuenberger.
Wow.
With a truck with a lot of damage.
Austin Hill, great young driver, burst on the K&N Pro Series scene at Dover with a win. He and Kendall Sellers have teamed up, trying to make things happen this season, but there he was, right sideways in front of half the field.
Won another K&N race last Sunday night at New Smyrna. Won 3 in a row in the K&N Series, 2 at the end of last year, and the first one this year.
And that's where our stars are coming from. The drivers that can win in K&N, they get to NASCAR, they're ready to race.
All right, let's see what happened here. Behind the truck 13 on the right side of your screen.
Okay, that's Austin on the outside of Cameron Haley.
Wow.
Did
the left rear tire come apart? Watch Chris Fontaine. Look at that job. He was able just to slip by. That's using your brain, being calm, just steering through a wreck. Great job, Chris.
I think that left rear tire went on that 82 truck for Austin Hill.
I think I saw the sidewall come out of it as they entered the corner. What happened to Timothy Peters when all this went down? Oh, wow. They let off.
Wow. That's Justin Boston, the 54 truck for KBM, getting a lot of damage when he got into the 1 truck of Donnie Neuenberger.
Yeah, Neuenberger led off, slowing for the crash.
Just slow it down. Just slow it down. About 4 or 5 rows down here. Just slow it down.
Look at the job.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy.
How about the job Timothy Peters did getting through there? How about Matt Crafton? He's down to 2nd gear by the time he gets to the accident site.
That's why that gap was there. The left rear tire goes on that 82 truck around. He goes, look at Chris Fontaine around the top, and there's really no excuse for this second pack to crash. That's why you run back there. You got to keep your eyes straight up ahead, see what's going on so that you don't get involved in somebody else's problem. That's why you run in the back, Phil. They made a mistake there.
Joe Nemechek's truck under repair. Ben Kennedy spun down the track into Nemechek's path. Matt?
Kennedy is here. Scott Zipadelli working out on the radio their repair plan. First going to work on that left front. They've got a Sawzall. They're going to try to trim away the bodywork, which is in on the tire. Then they're going to have to migrate to the back. Cosmetic damage around the fuel filler area, but they're working on that left front corner first.
A lot of damage there. Front end, rear spoiler, right rear corner. Much to do.
You know, we watched the Budweiser duel last night. There was cats with cars tore all to pieces that raced their way into the Daytona 500. So if you can get the wheels pointed straight and beat out a couple of fenders, I wouldn't put it past a guy like Justin Boston to be able to hang in that lead draft.
They have done just that to get him back on track without losing a lap. First caution of the night at 15 laps in.
Let's see if we can see pieces of that tire flying off. I'm sure you're going to be able to see it.
Remember, outside the 13 truck is where we're looking.
See the tire?
There it goes. There the carcass comes off right there.
Left rear tire went down.
Cameron Haley doesn't know how lucky he was. Look at the guy slipping by on the bottom.
Chris Fontaine amazingly gets by. Daniel Hemrick with a great job in that 14 truck getting by. And like you said, Michael, there's really no excuse for this second part of this incident here.
Not at all. Those trucks that crashed were just riding. They're riding behind so they don't get in a crash. You've got to be on your toes. See the tire go there?
The carcass comes off. Chris Fontaine moves all the way up to the top of the racetrack. That narrowly escapes.
That is amazing. What a great
Daniel
job.
Hemrick going by that white and black car, or truck, excuse me, number 14.
And poor old Justin Marks that had to, he's not old, but he had to serve that penalty for changing lanes before the start. They came around and lapped him. He was trailing the pack, waiting to get a free pass and come around, and he's in it, piled up.
Or a considerable amount of damage to Joe Nemechek's truck. A lot of changes over the winter for that truck, changed manufacturers.
Now, Joe's in this truck because his son, John Hunter Nemechek, who has a budding career in the Camping World Truck Series, can't run on the 2.5-mile tracks. He's not old enough.
He's not 18 yet. He'll turn 18, I think, in about May or June, and he will then take over this truck full time. But I think Joe will run this truck 5 times this year before John Hunter turns 18.
I had so much fun watching these 16-year-olds race on the shorter tracks. I wish they moved that to 14. They're ready. These kids have been on every simulator in the world. They know what they're doing. They're ready to race at that age.
I got a 15-year-old. He's sitting next door. I'm not ready for that. I'll see where it is.
You'd be so happy, Mike.
Pit road's open, Vince.
Well, the Brad Keselowski driver, Tyler Reddick, comes in, pits. It's just going to be fuel only. 6 seconds of fuel for the 19 of Reddick.
Matt Jones, the top of your screen, his truck was a little bit skittish at the beginning. They're going to make a chassis adjustment. No tires, just topping him off of fuel. Hermie.
The 31 is past champion James Busher back in the series. Fuel only for the 31. Fuel only also for Ty Dillon. He wanted to maintain that track position. He'll win the race off pit road ahead of Tyler Reddick and Travis Quaffle.
To the 05 truck sideways in his pit box, right side of your screen. Matt Crafton, the 88 truck, stayed on the racetrack.
I believe Todd Peck did also in the number 40.
I think right now at this juncture, we're on lap number 16. That gets these guys in their window to make it on 2 more stops. Very close call there as Eric Jones was leaving his pit. John West Townley obviously heads up move there to stop and not turn into the side of that Ford truck.
Hey, it's rush hour on pit road. We're under caution in Daytona. Let's check in with Jay and Dan in L.A. for this Fox Sports Live news update. Welcome back to Daytona. This is NASCAR's new pit road officiating, or pro trailer. When the cameras, the Hawkeye system up on the roof, senses an infraction on pit road, it lights up one of those monitors in front of 8 officials and calls out the penalty. The official reviews, sees if there were extenuating circumstances or not, and then sends the call upstairs, and the penalty is administered. Joe Nemechek's team and Norm Benning's over the wall too soon, while Justin Boston's team had too many crewmen over the wall.
Yeah, and Justin Boston's team, I don't think they care. They had to get over there and fix that truck, and that was their goal. And probably the same thing with Nemechek. Too soon over the wall. Let's get over there and fix that truck. We got to keep going, boys.
Yeah, they knew they were going to be at the back of the pack anyway.
So instead of an official standing in pit lane at each pit, there are now 10 officials stationed primarily behind the pit wall. A camera system each looks at 2 pits and calls or clears penalties. Those are the officials down in that pro trailer.
And I love that. Those officials are stationed inside that pro trailer, safely off of pit road. There's less traffic on pit road. Just really have to commend NASCAR for this technology that they brought to the truck series and all of NASCAR.
Now, none of these rules are new except that one. They have left it to the teams in NASCAR's 3 national series to determine whether the wheel is on there tight. It is no longer a penalty for missing a lug nut.
We can also add David Gillen, the 92 truck, for a penalty for driving through too many pit boxes.
And that's a penalty that's a rule that's been there forever, and it's just officiated with the pro system now. There's old Matt Crafton, did a great job of laying back, missing the first big crash.
We talked about him not coming to pit road when the caution came out. He had the opportunity, stayed out, led a lap, and then came to pit road.
And the number 40 had pitted earlier on lap 14, Todd Peck. So now we're set for the restart with Dillon and Reddick, Quappel and Terrio, Jones and Lagasse, Gallagher, Busher, Sauter, and Peck, the top 10. We're back under green.
A couple BKR teammates on the outside, see if they can do anything with Ty Dillon. Travis Quappel, the 94 truck, lined up with Ty Dillon right now. Remember, he started on the outside of the front row, led that outside line for a long time, jumped down to the bottom. Now he's right behind Ty Dillon.
Giving him a bump, little bump. That won't hurt you. You just can't lock those trucks together. That was a great job of bump drafting by those BKR teammates.
Brad Keselowski Racing His goal is to be a force in all three of NASCAR's National Series, behind the wheel in Sprint Cup where he's been champion, and looking for owner titles in both the Xfinity and the Camping World Truck Series.
Well, he's done a great job of bringing a couple of solid trucks, winning trucks, to the Camping World Truck Series. Brad's a great owner, and it's fun to watch these Cup guys, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, the guys down there in the garage area that race on Sunday, invest in this series, giving young guys a chance to run up front.
This is Austin Theriault right now doing a nice job running 7th. That's his teammate, Tyler Reddick, the 19. A lot of talk in the garage area that he may be a threat for this championship. At only 19 years old, had a strong rookie season last year, finished up really strong with 5 top 10s his last 5 starts.
Just got better and better each week. You're right, Phil. A real solid driver.
That's right. Right now we're just going to ride here a little bit. We'll see how that bottom lane plays out. We'd like to be able to push the 19 out in front, at least get him to the bottom, and then we'll play it by ear. So
a lot of movement mid-pack.
Yeah, look at that truck. Veer up high. Is that a flat tire?
I don't know. Travis Kvapil obviously felt something or decided to get out of that lead pack, moved way up the racetrack out of the way.
Phil, there's a lot of bobbing and weaving in that front pack. We know that Theriault, we know that Reddick, they're rookie, they're young racers. They're moving around an awful lot and making a lot of ground.
Inside.
We're here.
3 more coming.
Travis Kvapil's going to come to pit road. He must feel something, Michael. It feels like maybe he has a soft tire.
Check out that outside lane with those Brad Keselowski trucks pushing toward the front. Can they grab the lead on the high side?
Ty Dillon hugs the bottom, holds the lead, but that time Reddick becomes the 3rd driver to lead this race.
He led it by 100th of a second.
Vince?
Yeah, the hood has come loose on the 94 Travis Kvapil, so they've got the bear bond out trying to secure that hood, trying to get them out so they don't lose a lap. Boy, that's costly for the 94 Kvapil.
Oh, this front pack's making me nervous. There's a lot of juking and jiving right now.
Travis may be able to get out without losing a lap, but he's going to be so underpowered. They'll run about 3 seconds faster in this draft, Mike, than you can run by yourself.
But he'll latch onto the back of it.
Probably get a free pass, and he'll be just fine.
Look at Scott Lagasse. He's looking like he's thinking about making it 3 wide, bouncing to the outside.
Yeah, the drivers in the inside lane, they hug the yellow line. Not a lot of movement there. But look at on the outside, those drivers have the whole rest of the width of the racetrack to work with, and they're using a lot of it.
Well, and they're also side drafting in a major way to try to slow down the momentum of that inside lane. And then I talked about 3 wide. Watch off turn 2 if these guys can safely get around that slower truck.
You saw sparks flying from Justin Boston's truck.
He was involved in that incident. They may have to make some repairs. Obviously, something's still wrong with that truck.
Ty Dillon, Eric Jones, Spencer Gallagher on the inside. He kind of rented that lead.
Pull right over next to Ty Dillon to try to side draft. It just stalls out the momentum of that vehicle on the inside.
It also makes that inside vehicle loose. And when you slow down a vehicle on the inside, the trucks behind them doesn't know the momentum has been stalled. They could run into each other. This is some dangerous racing here early in the going.
Reddick led 1 lap, and now he's out front in clean air.
He's got to hang up top, though, Mike, I think, for his teammate. He would like to tuck to the bottom, but he can't do that until Theriault is clear, and Theriault's getting a big push from Lagasse. Now, if I'm those 2 Fords, I'd pull to the left.
Lagasse in that yellow Chevrolet, he looked for some room in the middle. Nothing there, and finally, Reddick has to come down to the inside to cover that lane.
He had an opportunity to get both he and his teammate out in front of Ty Dillon. He waited a little bit too long. Lagasse's all over the back of that 29 truck of Theriault.
Oh, truck in the wall. That's Boston. He had more than just a little problem. He's in the fence, and caution waves for the 2nd time tonight.
Tough start to the 2015 for Justin Boston. Great opportunity for him. Veteran of the ARCA Series, last 2 years, top 5 finishes in points both years, and it's going to be a tough day here tonight.
Something was dragging on that truck, possibly a suspension component. Whatever it was, wore through.
You can see the wheels turned to the right, the brakes locked up, and that truck was going left anyway.
Something failed in the front steering, obviously.
Travis Kvapil will get the free pass on this 2nd caution flag of the night in the NextEra Energy 250. 26 laps complete on a chilly night in Daytona. Here are your Ford track facts. This is the 16th year we've run the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. At Daytona International Speedway, Todd Bodine is the only repeat winner, 2008 and 9. Kyle Busch, defending champion of this race.
Toyota has won the last 8 races here at Daytona.
Justin Boston's truck hauled away from the entrance of turn number 3 as we get ready to go back to racing. Budweiser Speed Weeks continues tomorrow. Xfinity Racing comes to its new home on Fox Sports 1. And Sunday, the 57th Daytona 500 on Fox. Coverage continues all weekend long on Fox, Fox Sports 1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go, which is now available to DirecTV customers. We had pit stops under that caution period. Hermie?
Yeah, Michael May in the pit road. Johnny Sauter came down pit road, fuel only. James Busher, fuel and right sides. And the 51 of Daniel Suarez, fuel and 4 tires. And I think Matt has the owner of the 51.
Absolutely, catching up with Kyle Busch, watching on top of the pit box. So, Eric Jones, never raced here before, currently in third. What impresses you most so far about him and his performance tonight?
Well, I mean, we put him in this situation because we believed in him and thought that he would do a good job, and obviously he has, and hopefully it just ends up finishing out this way. You know, a third-place finish to start the year, that'd be phenomenal. Obviously, we've seen unfortunate circumstances for our other team truck with Justin Boston and the bit pay guys. You know, unfortunately, just got caught up in that first accident and, you know, ended up breaking something afterwards that was banned already. So, but Eric, you know, hopefully, like I said, hopefully he can stay there. The Toyota Tundra is pretty awesome. Guys at KBM have done a nice job, and it's nice to see one of us up front.
Mike?
Thank you, Matt. We're back under green. Reddick under pressure from the outside. They've got a full head of steam there. Ty Dillon, the pole sitter, in 33, trying to retake the lead.
Spencer Gallagher, that 23 Allegiant truck, right behind Ty Dillon. They are teammates for GMS Racing.
What about Daniel Hemrick up in that 6th spot, 3rd truck on the outside, short track racer, proving that he can get it done on the big track too here early in his career.
Awesome job for that Kannapolis rookie. Won the Legends Million at Charlotte Motor Speedway a couple of summers ago.
$250,000 he won.
Yep. Driving a $10,000 car.
Terrific. Pretty good payout. And a nice guy. Certainly is. A great short track racer.
Yeah, I talked to him down in the garage area this morning, and he said, I think I feel pretty good about this. I just love the uncertainty of these kids when they come to Daytona, run a few laps. They know they can run wide open around here, but they also understand what they've seen in the past, and that's when you get in this pack. The air starts doing things to your truck that you've never felt before. And anytime something's brand new, especially at 190 miles an hour, it can cause you some issues. Look at them bouncing around there, just back and forth. And they're trying their best to go straight.
Reddick led that lap, the 31st of 100.
Look at the attitude of those trucks. Those footers right down on the ground. We saw them on the line about 6 inches up in the air on the racetrack. Those footers are right dead next to the racetrack.
The next lap that Tyler Reddick leads in that number 19 will equal his previous career total in this series.
And that's not surprising, Mike, because at the end of 2014, we would see that truck sideways. More often we saw it straight, but he was able to hang on to it and just get better and better. And now he's starting the season leading in Daytona. That's got to be a great feeling for that young man.
Michael, you talked at the start of the telecast about the ground clearance on these trucks and how much air there was underneath. But look at them now, and those splitters just all but stuck right to the racetrack.
It's an engineering feat.
Marvel, certainly.
What Darrell call that thing in Australia when he's in that V8 supercar? A geographical anomaly. Well, this is an engineering anomaly. This is crazy is what I'm trying to say. The trucks, how do they do it? They go from 6 inches up in the air to right down on the ground. And the thing that makes me scratch my head, it does it on the straightaways and in the turns. How does it know?
I don't know. I don't know how they do that.
This little front pack's really tidy and tight.
Compare this to the Sprint Cup Series. Thursday night in the Budweiser Duel, lots of jockeying, shuffling, position changing. Right here, no one seems to have an advantage.
How about that 07 Ray Black Jr., one of our rookies for 2015, doing a real nice job for S&S Greenlight Racing. You see him at 07 right on the outside of that Zaxby's Chevrolet for John West Townley. He's tucked up behind a great runner, Johnny Sauter, former winner here at this racetrack in that 98 truck.
And what about Fontaine in the 84? We saw him nearly in a crash at the start of the race. We know that on the super speedways, he knows how to get it done and keep himself right up there in the lead pack. He's doing it again tonight.
How about the back of that pack? We caught a glimpse of Timothy Peters, that red and white Toyota, made his way up into this lead draft.
Matt Crafton has elected to hang back still. He's the last truck in that part of the back of that lead draft. He's not even a part of the main draft. There's 2 trucks and there's 4. You can see Crafton bringing up the back of that. He says, I'm going to hang out. That's my strategy here, and I'm going to keep with this for a while. Timothy said, it's time to race.
Daniel Suarez leading that group of 4. Reddick and Dillon for the lead, then Jones and Gallagher, Terrio and Hemrick, Lagasse and Sauter, Townley and Black, and you could put a blanket over the bunch of them.
It's a nice push there by Eric Jones to get Reddick free of Ty Dillon, and it seems that maybe Terrio's trying to do the same for Jones, get that low line out ahead, but they're not making a lot of progress.
Yeah, these guys on the inside line would love to get out in front of this outside line so they can do a little single file racing without having to worry about those trucks like Ty Dillon on the outside in the 33. See Ty Dillon pulling over to side draft a little bit to try to stall the momentum out on that 4 truck of Eric Jones.
And as he does, he about gets a boot from Gallagher. Now, who's that peeking out? Lagasse in the yellow truck, 3rd in line on the inside, trying to peek out, make something happen.
There was nothing there.
Timothy Peters has caught the lead draft after starting at the back in a backup truck, Matt.
0 laps on that backup truck. They stopped on the first caution. They made a track bar adjustment, went down to try to give it a little bit more security. It was a little free, and they put fresh tires on it. He came back in and topped off right now. Just riding, no complaints.
Side by side for the lead, nobody has an advantage. Reddick, Dillon, inches apart at over 190 miles an hour. They were double file when we left you, but that outside lane broke up once Ty Dillon got pushed to the lead. Here's how he got it.
Got a little help from his teammate Spencer Gallagher. Watch, there's 1 bump. There's another bump. Maybe 3 bumps, and that's enough to give him the momentum to get by Tyler Reddick, and was able to pull down to the inside. The problem is that left Spencer Gallagher by himself on the outside, and now he's fallen all the way back to the 11th position.
It looked like Ty didn't even care either.
And everybody went to single file except Johnny Sauter.
Well, he whipped up on the outside with a big run, but then that run stalled out. He decided to tuck back in on that bottom as well. So that's interesting, Phil. The bottom is the preferred line, but the lead was taken from the outside. You just start making notes. You start putting things in your memory bank about how you're making progress. Sauter knows that that outside got the lead. He's trying to get some people to go up there with him. He's not content to ride in the back. He wants to go.
You talked about the run he had. We were watching during the commercial break. He had such a run coming off turn 4, and he jumped by 1 truck and almost by the 2nd truck, but then it stalls out especially without any help like right now.
Next time he gets up to about Spencer Gallagher or some of those other guys up there, I would dip out and just give it a whirl. You got to figure out what you got for later.
From what I've seen, you're going to need 3 or more trucks in that outside lane if you're going to gain any ground.
And generally it starts with 1 guy like Johnny Sauter who gets a good run, makes a little progress. Somebody else will duck out there with him. People in back will start to try to do it as well, and you'll get a gang together.
Ben Kennedy is back on track after 25 laps in the garage repairing crash damage.
That's Travis Quapple, the 94 truck that they're going by right now. Travis is being shown several laps down. He obviously had that situation where his hood was coming up. He's 5 laps down now.
Watch him. Those trucks are just streaming by him on the inside. Now they're going to go around him on the outside. As soon as he gets to the back of the pack, he'll hang right on and draft with these guys.
There's David Gilliland going around on the outside, as well as Brian Silas.
Ooh, they got some tape there. Looked like some bear bond.
That came off Ben Kennedy's truck.
These trucks don't take a whole lot of air in here. It looks like he's going to be fortunate that's going to miss the grill. The grill opening is right there below the Silverado. They have a little bit of tape on there that they put on themselves because of the cool temperatures.
But Phil, you're right. If he picks that up right into that grill area, he'd have to pit. I mean, there's no way around
within a lap or two, but he got very, very fortunate. He hit one piece, then he's going to hit another piece that's going to be even larger than that. But again, it's going to miss that grill area.
Oops, that was big enough to cover up his whole air intake, and that engine would overheat in a lap or two. He'd be right on pit road, so that's a good break. What you'd like to do is have that come on there about the last lap.
On that grill opening.
Hit that grill opening and steam off to victory.
Let's check in on the second place truck, Vince.
Well, one of the keys with this super speedway type racing is the spotter driver communication. Tyler Reddick is the driver. TJ Majors is the spotter.
Big shove on the outside. He might clear you here if he gets the right shove, but that's fine, buddy. That's fine. Nice and smooth here. We'll just get in line with him. We're in great shape. You verse that line. Just clear side by side. You'll be here.
TJ Majors, spotter for the number 19, who met Dale Earnhardt Jr. playing racing video games online and actually raced a late model for Junior Motorsports.
Junior in victory lane for the duel last night. Give a lot of credit for TJ to TJ Majors for helping him get that car to victory lane.
That's right. TJ's Dale Jr. spotter as well. Especially at Daytona and Talladega, spotters deserve a lot of credit. If you're a driver, it's smart to thank your spotter for good things, but don't ever blame your spotter for bad things. You're responsible for driving that truck. You can't blame your spotter for something that goes wrong out there, but you certainly should credit him for everything that goes right.
Ty Dillon has led 32 of the 45 laps so far. Matt Crafton led one lap, and the number 19, Tyler Reddick, out front for 12 circuits. Ty led 56 laps here in his last race of the series in 13.
Wow.
Crash. It's the big one. What a mess. There's a dozen trucks torn up in this one.
Man. Look at John Westella having such a good run running up in the top 10. There's Spencer Gallagher, Cameron Haley in that 13 truck. Chris Fontaine in the 84.
Timothy Peters, his second truck of the day. Johnny Sauter with some damage to that truck. We talked about Peters getting in the back of that lead draft and saying it's time to race.
It may be easier to tell you who's not in this wreck.
But they were running around their single file before we went to commercial break. There's Daniel Hemrick having such a good run. A lot of damage to that 14 Chevrolet.
And Spencer Gallagher had pushed Ty Dillon to the lead, faded to the back. He got collected in that crash.
Todd Peck got a piece of it, window net down, signaling that he is okay.
Look at all the damage.
Truck is done.
A lot of damage to every one of these vehicles.
That is a pileup. You know, this happened around 9th place. As we were watching this truck, Jennifer Jo Cobb on pit road, she had run out of gas. They put gas in it. They squirted ether down the cowl intake and under the hood. Everything caught fire. As they were putting that out, a melee on the back straightaway.
Oh. Right on the back straightaway, you're right, Mike. What happened to Ben Kennedy?
Well, Ben Kennedy looked like he had a tire down or something broken. Michael,
almost
everybody
stopped.
piled in.
James Busher, the 31, also involved in this incident. Ray Black Jr., the 07, maybe not a whole lot of damage. Ryan Ellis, the 28, gets caught by Daniel Hemrick.
What happened? Kennedy was slow up top. That didn't really seem to have anything to do with the beginning of that crash.
Right at the bottom, right around where James Busher was.
Yeah, it's like an accordion effect. Once it looked like somebody slowed, and then they started running into each other.
You don't think someone ran out of gas, do you?
It's possible. Within a lap or two, I think, of these guys coming down pit road.
That's about the only thing that could have caused that.
Let's look for Austin Terrio.
Terrio run out of gas.
Okay.
He slows down for some reason.
He slows down. Lagasse gets in the back of him, and it's just an accordion-like wreck as the trucks behind can't slow down in time.
So many of these trucks with absolutely nowhere to go. Matt Tiff does a nice job going through the grass, and the 25 truck looks like he may have missed everything.
You know, perhaps Theriot just let off the gas when he saw the slow truck of Kennedy up top, but it's a little early to assume that. What was going on in front of Theriot?
That's what I'd want to know, Michael, because Ben Kennedy was way up against the wall, out of harm's way if all these trucks were coming through on the bottom, single file.
Yeah, we definitely heard Theriot get out of the gas there in that 29 truck from his onboard camera.
But we don't know what was going on in front of him even. And like Mike said, there was a truck up high, but that shouldn't have been a factor. Look at that mess.
It's a wrecker convention.
Take another look at it now. This is actually back. You see James Busher, the 31. We know he's going to get it. There's the accordioning effect. You see the 29 was close to the 4 truck. We heard him back off Austin Theriot in the 29 truck, but he was within a truck length of the 4 truck of Eric Jones in front of him.
And the accordion, as it came together, Busher got into the back of John West Townley, and those were the first trucks to spin.
Look at Brian Silas. I've tried to pick guys that do a nice job of getting through a wreck. Very few people got through that one. Brian Silas looked like he was able to get through with minimal damage.
Maybe a Matt Tift got through there through the grass.
And Johnny Sauter, some damage to the nose, but I think he can get that beat out. He could be okay as well.
Now, pit road not yet open. It's been 34 laps since the lead trucks were in the pit lane.
A lot of these trucks right now on fumes. You see Ty Dillon shaking his truck, trying to make sure he gets fuel over to the pickup. The pickup for the fuel system is in the right rear corner of these trucks. Looks like Ty Dillon may be out of fuel. He's coming to pit road anyway. He's going to have to serve a penalty for pitting too soon, but it's better to do that than run out of gas.
Absolutely.
Plus, he's got an extremely strong truck. He knows he can fight back to the front. Hermie, is he out?
No, Michael, but his crew chief, Shane Huffman, said coming off turn 4, we have to pit this time whether the pit road is open or not. So they were right on the edge, did not want to take that chance of running out on the back straightaway. They're going to fill up with fuel, obviously, clean the grill, make a little bit of a track bar and wedge adjustment, and put 2 right side tires on this 33 truck. So try to be on the side of caution. Now they're going to go ahead and get 4 tires now that they're on pit road. Better be safe than sorry for the 33. He's got a good truck.
Johnny Sauter does not. The hood was up blocking his view. He had to come to pit road. Ryan Ellis as well.
Wasn't up when he left. I guess they just didn't get the front end piece back together. I talked that they could put that back together. Got some more work to do now. You know, you spend hours, weeks, months tweaking, tuning your Daytona truck. Now there's a guy jumping up and down on it.
Spending time in the wind tunnel.
That happened right at halfway, and man, it's going to change the complexion of this race. Most dominant truck of the night had to pit under this caution before the pit road was open. He'll be stuck in the back.
Well, let's talk about that call, because it's going to send, as Johnny Sauter comes down with the hood all the way up, he can probably see through that gap between the hood and the base of the windshield.
Yeah, the cabs are so high on these trucks. It's not like he's looking out the top of the windshield. You're right, Mike. He's looking down at the very bottom of the windshield, right over top of the dash.
And he sits so low. All right, Ty Dillon, how about that call coming in before pits are open, knowing you're going to have to restart in the back?
I like it. I mean, if he runs out on the back straightaway, that could be a couple of laps that he'd lose. He's just going to lose track position. He's got the dominant truck. He knows Matt Crafton. There's some other good trucks back there hanging around. The field has been cut in half. I think that's a great call.
Pit road's open. Vince.
Tyler Reddick coming from first place to pit lane, and they were going to take just right sides, but he ran through a little bit of debris, so now it's going to be a 4-tire change for Tyler Reddick. His teammate Austin Theriot, right sides only. A couple of the Brad Keselowski cut trucks, they're both very happy with their machines. Matt?
Eric Jones to the bottom left of your screen. They're going to go right side tires. No complaints about the truck at all. Top them off on fuel. They're going to go on the call. Hermie.
Scott Legacy Jr., great run. He qualified 9th. He came off the racetrack in 4th. They're going to take 4 tires, no chassis adjustment, so he will lose the race off pit road. Austin Theriot, Eric Jones, Tyler Reddick, then Scott Legacy Jr. off pit road.
You see Ty Dillon, the 33 truck, won the battle off pit road, but he did it a lap too early. He will have to go to the back.
There's the barbecue on underhood of Jennifer Jo Cobb's truck. They've got to put out, but we are under caution.
They couldn't have.
At Daytona, we are under caution. Johnny Sauter's truck, the hood of which is still under repair. Apparently the hood pins either came out or something broke, allowing that hood to fly up on the windshield, and getting that back down and repaired is a tall order.
There's a bar that all the hood pins are welded to, and that bar may have broken.
Watch the leaders. Everybody just sort of starts to back off there and causes that huge trek. But watch Ray Black Jr. here in this 07 truck. He's down on the apron. You see truck spinning beside him. He gets on the brakes hard. There's two crashed right in front of him. Slides right through. No damage on the 07. What a great run early for Black Jr. And he's able to continue, missing that wreck narrowly.
Now, Ben Kennedy's truck is slow up near the wall, but the caution doesn't come out until this accordion collapses and the wreck starts.
I think they were in the process of throwing the caution, and this wreck happened when they were going to do it. They saw how slow Ben Kennedy was, and he was actually struggling even to maintain that speed. His truck would not go straight.
Now we're looking, we can see a little bit of green reflection there. We're going to look for the light to come on.
Still green, still green. Still green and watch here. We're already having contact. You see John West Townley's truck turning right, and we're still green. And now we see the reflection of that caution light right there.
And then it goes yellow on that reflection. So just a weird circumstance there. We had a truck on fire on pit road. We had a slow truck on the back straightaway. The leader slowed down, and everybody piled in.
Under caution for a huge multi-truck crash at Daytona. We're just past halfway on Friday night in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series opener. 45 laps to go. Here's your new leader, Daniel Suarez. He's going to surrender the lead by making a pit stop now. And this should put everybody on the same pit cycle pretty much among our leaders.
They're not going to be in their window to be able to make it to the end of this race. Matt?
And the Ford of Eric Jones just came in. He topped off as well, Mike.
There were a number of penalties, 5 of them for trucks that pitted too soon. We've talked about that before pit road was open. Matt Tiff, number 25, men over the wall too soon. Same penalty for James Busher. And the 07, Ray Black Jr., throwing equipment over the pit wall was the penalty called there.
All these penalties are just guys that are trying to get their trucks fixed mostly. They have to do some quick work, and they'll sacrifice a man over the wall too soon to repair your truck. So
now, not all of the trucks involved in that big crash knocked out of the race. James Busher, one of the first trucks to go around there, is still running. They've made some repairs on his truck. But, Matt, I'm curious, why was Ben Kennedy rolling so slowly up toward the wall? That's really why the caution came out there.
Mike, I touched base with the team. Ben came on the radio in speculation, possibly a tire going down. He felt like the truck was getting away from him, and he was trying to get out of the way to not cause an accident on the backstretch, because he could see in his mirror the pack was coming.
And you can't really say Kennedy was the cause of that. Certainly he was up there, the caution was going to come out.
I think maybe he was the cause for the caution. I believe they saw that truck sparking. We saw some sparks there. It looked like turning toward the outside wall. And unfortunate for these guys.
All right, we'll work up a damage report for you when we come back. Here are the trucks involved in the crash at lap 49, many of them still able to continue, including the number 28 of Ryan Ellis, who is third. As we get ready for the restart, green flag, 42 to go.
Certainly has changed the complexion of this race, though. We had a bunch of trucks. We had probably 25 trucks in the lead draft before the caution flag. Now we don't have but about 20 trucks on the racetrack.
3 wide.
Check out the move by David Gilliland up on the high side. That was a choreographed start by those Brad Keselowski racing trucks. The inside truck got off to a slower start so the outside truck could get to the lead. And when that happens, people jump on you. They're all over the place trying to take advantage.
Now that debris is blocking that grill opening for Ty Dillon. He needs to pull up behind another one of these trucks and see if that'll blow it off.
Well, that's a lot of tape to be stuck on that nose. I don't know that'll come off.
Yeah, and that just happened just now.
Yeah, that was blowing around. That wasn't what was stuck to his nose before.
So many of these trucks had a lot of Barabon on them, so that's what blew off one of these other trucks right there on his grill. He needs to try to get behind that 99 truck of Brian Silas and see if he can pull that off.
Got to get up there close.
The difference in pressure will a lot of times take that debris off that grill opening.
But you know that bare bond, that stuff really sticks.
Yes, it does.
It does, and you can see he sees his temperature gauge going up now, trying to get to the high side to get some air, but that's not going to help.
It won't come off when you want it to come off.
No. And you don't want it to come off.
There's Tyler Young, the 02 truck, doing a nice job. David Gillen right now.
And the grill area, we're told, now clean on Ty Dillon's truck. Mission accomplished.
How about that? What a nice job by Ty Dillon using that back of that 02 truck of Tyler Young's.
Didn't get up against him, just used that air pressure differential. Now look at everything that's on the racetrack that came off a couple of trucks. And there's where Ty got it.
That wasn't there, I don't suspect, from NASCAR through the green.
Oh, it wasn't.
As trucks left pit road and some of their tape jobs didn't stand the test of 150 miles an hour, blew right off, and onto the track it went.
We have 15 trucks on the lead lap. We started 32. And there are 5 trucks still in the race, laps down.
What about Matt Crafton? His strategy to lay back early seems to be working right now. He's up in the lead pack now, pushing David Gillen. Has a strong truck right alongside Brian Silas on the inside.
How about our defending champ, Vince?
Yeah, they've been really happy with the 88. In fact, when they took off those 4 tires, they told Matt, they said, these tires look so good, we could put them back on. Wow. He's just making the decision as to whether he wants to get up in the mix or still hang back a little bit. We're getting close now, 39 to go. He's going to move just a bit now.
I think he trusts running along with David Gillen quite a lot. David's got a lot of experience, a really accomplished super speedway racer. Tyler Young pulling up behind Crafton.
Well, let's talk fuel for just a second. A group of trucks stopped at lap 56, lap 57, late during that caution period. Can anybody go the distance?
No, I don't think so. I think about 36 laps is going to be tops. We have 39 laps to go now. We run another 5 laps or so, then everybody can get in their window. We talk about those trucks sucked to the ground. Look at that 28 truck right there, bottom of your screen, down right side of your screen. Look how high that truck is, probably because of some of the damage from that incident, and he's staying right with these guys.
That tells you how important the draft is. Ellis is able to hang right in there. His nose is all up in the air on the straightaways.
But in the draft, that's okay.
It doesn't see that, does it?
No, long as he can stay with those trucks in front of him, he's starting to lose a bit of that draft right now.
Look at Dillon's truck slammed to the ground, and then you can see all the way up underneath that Silverado of Ryan Ellis. He just needs another truck behind him to keep him pushed up to the pack ahead, and he'll be fine.
Let's check with Vince on fuel mileage.
You know, Matt Crafton was one of the last to come to pit road at lap 56, and they told him after he left the pit box that he was about 8 laps short. 8 laps.
Daniel Suarez goes past.
He won a race, Matt Crafton won a race at Texas last year, and we said there's no way he can go as far as he needed to get to the end. He was able to do that and went to victory lane, but I think Vince is right. I think he should be about 8 laps short here.
He's 13th right now, 4 seconds off the lead.
He made a run at the lead pack, couldn't make any progress, and just decided he would fall back and ride until we get to the checker. There's some more of that bear bond flying up into the air. Luckily, that didn't land on any other trucks, but they got to come back through it, Phil. Will somebody get unlucky and have it cover up their nose?
I would think more than likely they're going to hit that. It's right in the middle of the backstretch. It's like a little bit of debris on Austin Terrio's truck.
Oh, I think we see where that's coming from. We saw the work they were doing on Johnny Sauter's truck, and it's all coming apart.
Sauter in the green truck, that hood's going to go flying in just a second. At 190 miles an hour, the best tape in the world may not keep that down.
NASCAR needs to bring Johnny to pit road right now, radio his crew and say, get to pit road, because that truck is going to lose that hood for sure.
Keep on digging. Caution.
Caution,
If we need to
turn
fix that
2.
hood, come to pit road right now.
Matt Tift has gotten around somehow over in turn 2.
What a break for Johnny Sauter.
Woof. I don't know.
Instead of being the caution, he catches a caution. Now they can come to pit road and hopefully make repairs.
And he gets a free pass.
They're going to also have to, I think, put some aluminum and top rivets, take a screw gun and try to fix that baby. Tape just isn't going to hold it. The air's too violent.
Matt Tift was 15th. There's a look at some of the rapid repair on Johnny Sauter's truck.
And that hood is made of steel.
Well, that was very effective until he left pit road and got back up to speed. You can see how violently the air affects these trucks.
Phil, would you explain to me exactly what's happening here?
Maybe the front brakes are locked up on that truck or something, because obviously he has power. He's spinning that right rear tire.
Right rear spinning, the left rear is not moving at all.
Maybe broke a rear end or possibly something like that, or again, the brakes have locked up.
We've seen a little bit of everything, which is typical for a Friday night truck affair here at Daytona. You never know what's going to happen.
Reminds me of day Neil Bonnet up in the booth at CBS. I said, actually, he had fallen out of a race. I said, Neil, you've raced everybody all day. Who do you think's going to win? He goes, Pace Car's got a good shot at it. This is one of those nights. Daniel Suarez, 11th of now 14 trucks on the lead lap. Johnny Sauter has gone a lap down.
But we'll get the free pass and be put back on the lead lap.
Now we're getting down where we've got a chance to make it on our fuel, Phil.
Yeah, I think so. We're right now within our window.
34 laps to go when they come to the line, and pit road's about to be a busy place, Vince.
Well, the first car coming to pit lane is the 29 of Austin Theriault. His teammate, Tyler Reddick, will hit the box first. It's going to be fuel only for both the Brad Keselowski trucks, and this should be their final pit stop, according to their plan. Matt?
Impressive run by Eric Jones in the 4. First trip to Daytona, 3 wins last year. Can you imagine a 4th would be here at Daytona? He's looking good so far, topping him off with fuel. Hermie?
Ty Dillon hoping to pick up a little bit of track position. Shouldn't have to stay on pit road quite as long as some of the others. He was just in on lap 56, but he will not win the race off pit road.
The Fords come out first. Reddick and Theriault among the large group of trucks that hit pit road. The hoodless horseman of Daytona was Johnny Sauter, and now they have a piece of sheet metal that they are attaching with screws and then going to cover with some of that special tape.
You know, Mike, they're gonna have to go all the way across that hood, though. Those edges can start to work up as well. We've seen he's got issues all the way across, and I'd like a bigger piece of metal on there, Phil.
I think about 2 more pieces like that.
Just like that.
We just about do it.
We got to overdo this deal. We know we got some issues. We know we got a truck that can. This truck can still win the race, Phil.
Yeah, absolutely.
We get these repairs right.
Here's tonight's Toyota News Update. Timothy Peters, trouble in qualifying as he came off pit road and came up to speed in turn 1. Norm Benning inexplicably took a right turn, sending Peters into the wall and to a backup truck. He escaped the first yellow flag crash of the night, but not the second one.
This baby was big. Took out about half of the field, and you can see Timothy probably took the biggest hits in that crash, both in the front and in the back.
Now, Peters currently is listed as 21st. His teammate, Ben Kennedy, 28th. Tough night for them. Matt Yoakum.
Tough night for Red Horse Racing. First, Timothy Peters. How do you even describe this day?
Words can't, you know what I mean? But it just goes to show you that Chassis 140 was just as good as our primary, and thanks to these guys at Red Horse Racing, thanks back at the Fab Shop. You know, we unloaded yesterday and things went well, so we put it on jack stands and even practiced the final practice. So, but it just goes to show you it's out of your control. So, you know, I'm proud of everybody's effort on the 17 and the 11. So we'll just go home, grab Chassis 21 that we had at Homestead, take it to Atlanta, and we'll get us a 1-2 finish there.
Now, Ben, I spoke with one member of your team, and he speculated that you had some kind of issue with the truck, but now, after conferring, you think that maybe the 20 was running out of fuel, or the 24?
I can't say for sure. I heard that on the radio. But, you know, we had that issue in turn 1. The guy ahead of me just blew a left rear tire, and I had nowhere to go. Someone hit me from the back. I spun. I got hit, blah, blah, blah. And then going down the back straightaway, had a left rear tire go down, and it was either wreck left and go into the pack or left right and go into the wall. So I just decided to wall it. I have no idea what happened with the wreck. I would hate it if it was me, but it's a bummer for our local motors and these guys. There's been a lot of excitement coming up into this race weekend, and to start like this isn't the best. I'm optimistic about Atlanta and getting back at the mile and a half and stuff. So I can't thank these guys enough. Everyone at the shop, everyone here, they work their tails off. I think it's going to be a really great season.
He's excited to be here, and those guys are excited to have him with the team. Looking forward to Atlanta.
Not with that truck. We're ready to go back to green. Ben Kennedy may have brought out the caution, but he did not cause that wreck. He was way up and out of harm's way when it happened on the inside of the racetrack. We're back to green with the Fords out front.
And there goes Reddick to the inside after his teammate kind of drug his feet a little bit. They want to line those trucks up on the inside. And they did a great job that time. The restart before, it didn't go so smoothly, and they got attacked by that pack behind them, but that time they pulled it off nicely.
Scott Lagasse, that 20 truck, nice job early on here, running in the third spot. There's Eric Jones, the 4 trucks side by side now for fourth with the 33 of Ty Dillon.
Keep your eye on that 07 of Ray Black Jr. We saw him make his way through that crash. He's racing inside the top 10, looking to pick up the 6th spot here coming off turn 4. Great run by that young man.
Running right behind his teammate, Corbin Forrester, in the 08 truck.
Could be a career night for both those boys.
Now, is Matt Crafton advancing to the rear, or is that truck just maybe not have quite enough speed at this point in the race?
I think he's got all he needs. He's just deciding that strategy is his best plan is to lay back right now.
Going to jump to the inside, try to make his way by the 33 of Ty Dillon.
We know how fast Dillon is. He's led most of the race. But stuck up on that outside, there just wasn't any progress to be made. There's that mess of Johnny Saunders hanging right in there.
Let's hear what we can glean from Matt Crafton's radio.
Thinking if the roles reverse would be great, but we got to remember, what happened in qualifying. I think we can afford to do what we've been doing, but I don't think we'll have anybody to do it with us, Matt. Honestly, I think everybody's impatient. They're ready to go.
Well, I'll tell you who's ready to go. Look at Ty. Well, you can't see Dillon, but Dillon's on the outside of Crafton now. He knows he can't win the race from back there. He's starting to flare to the outside. Looks like Daniel Suarez tried to do the same thing. Couldn't go anywhere. Now Dillon's going to pick him off on the bottom.
Oh, trouble. What is that? It's the 28 truck that was damaged earlier. Ryan Ellis.
What a save by Ryan Ellis.
What a job by those guys behind him. Matt Crafton, Ty Dillon, all those sparks and all that mess ahead of them. They were able to miss that crash.
He was ninth. The way that's bobbing and weaving, did the suspension break, or is he losing a tire?
He got loose.
Wow.
That truck's all messed up from the wreck. He got loose, all but crashed. And look at the job. It's clear to see that Crafton can miss that crash. He's watching what's going on. But the 33 of Ty Dillon.
It gets harder. The farther back you go, the harder it gets.
Wow. That is an amazing save by Ryan Ellis and an amazing job by 2 winning race drivers.
Well, so much for trying to stay him back out of the way. And Crafton was almost in harm's way, and so was Ty Dillon.
Check up. Go high.
Daniel Suarez was fortunate he was on the outside, so that was the easier path to go.
Well, we're still under green. What haven't we seen tonight?
I know one guy that's itching to go somewhere, and that's Scott Lagasse Jr. He's running third and staying in line, but you can just tell he's peeking out to the outside every chance he gets.
Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Chevrolet. Those are the front 5 with 27 to go. Saturday night, the Daytona 500 Bash at the beach. It's actually underway right now. If you're in Daytona, catch the show over on the beach near the band shell. And if not, catch it tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. Molly McGrath and Clint Boyer co-host Little Big Town Headlines. Their new album, Painkiller, is now available. There's a look from the beach side across the Halifax River. And the bright lights, that's Daytona International Speedway, where the NextEra Energy 250 has 23 laps to go. A pack of 7 followed by a pack of 5.
And that pack of 5 has switched positions. Ty Dillon raced his way to the front of that pack, brought Matt Crafton with him. In the last 2 laps, they've by far been the fastest trucks on the track. So look for them to pull right up on this lead pack in a couple laps.
Lap 77 just completed, and it was led by Tyler Reddick. Of the 100 laps in this race, the only lap that has never been led by a race-winning driver was lap 77.
You've been listening to Russell again, haven't you?
That's Stat Boys, Bert and Ernie. So, hopefully, that's not a bad omen for the 19.
Whoa, look at that pack.
Another hood for Brian Silas.
Just go up a little bit, watch your yellow line. Watch your yellow line out to your left side mirror.
So the yellow line will be his guide. He sits so low in the truck he can see under that hood. Certainly, he's got to come to pit road. No aerodynamics and no clear vision. They're going to bring him in.
Brian was running it in that second pack there, really doing a nice job with damage to that truck.
And that second pack was split apart with the problems that Silas had. So see if they can regroup.
You've got 4 hood pins across the front of the hood. What's happening?
Well, you can see damage. He's got some. He's had some tape up there to start with. So evidently he had bumped into something, did some damage to the front end, and that broke it loose. We know that's what's caused Sauter's problem. But wow, Phil, you're talking about a lot of turbulence on the front of one of these trucks when you're running in that draft.
Here comes that second group. Ty Dillon leading that second pack. We're going to have one large pack here within a lap or two. They're there. Ty Dillon pulls up to the tailgate of David Gilliland.
And you watch Dillon, he won't ride there long either. He'll take that group to the outside and try to start making his way to the front. There's only 20 to go in this race. He better be making some moves.
So we've reached our Camping World 20 to go. Does anybody have anything for those 2 Brad Keselowski Fords?
Doug Randolph, crew chief, left side of your screen there.
I think this 33 and 88 have a lot for those 2 Fords up front. They've caught the front group, and like I said, they moved to the outside. They're going to start trying to make their way to the front. Crafton looks like he's thinking about bailing out on Dillon.
Yeah, he went back to the bottom. He got 1 helper coming. It's Quapple.
Yeah, I think if I'm Matt Dillon, if I'm Matt Crafton, I think maybe that 33 truck is the fastest truck here. So maybe I don't want to help him get all the way to the front. Maybe I'd like to keep him behind me for a while.
If you're Matt Dillon, you're going to arrest somebody.
James Busher has come to pit road 15 laps back. And here's Ty Dillon trying to find a spot in line there behind Daniel Suarez in 11th place.
You know, we've seen it take as many as 6, 8, 10 laps to do what Dillon's trying to do right now, to be able to inch your way up on that lead pack. I got to go right now, Phil. We're inside the Camping World 20 to go. We got to make some moves.
He doesn't have a great deal of help there, not able to make a whole lot of progress.
19 laps to go. Will it be a fleet of Ford blue in front of the checkered flag? Stay tuned. We're under caution with 16 laps to go in Daytona. And the number 99 of Brian Silas will show you why you don't leave pit road without your hood on your truck. The top of the air cleaner comes off and blows onto the speedway, and that debris has put us under caution as you watch from the Goodyear blimp.
What a pretty sight here. This racetrack is amazing.
And there's a look at Silas' truck.
See the air filter there.
That air box.
The lid's going to fly off this thing. I'm not sure how the bottom was able to stay on.
Well, I'm not sure how the filter was able to sit there.
Exactly. There's nothing really holding that filter in the bottom of that air cleaner.
That's an aerodynamic oddity. It's trying to get out of there.
The cowl's holding it in a little bit.
Yep. What a great shot. Our camera people just do an amazing job looking right down on the inside of that truck.
And on a really cold night.
This very challenging weather for 2 nights in a row, Mike.
Brad Keselowski, who always has his tweeter with him. That's what Roger Penske called him at the banquet one year. And he has tweeted, the pressures of being a team owner. Can we just fast forward to the finish?
Well, and I think that's because Brad knows that there's going to be so many moves and things develop over the next 15 laps, most of them he don't want to see.
No. The vise is about to tighten. 15 laps to go.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series has a new home. Fox Sports 1. The green flag drops in Daytona tomorrow at 3 Eastern.
Started my Camry. Remembered the choice.
It's the night of the young guns at Daytona International Speedway. 14 laps to go. Tyler Reddick and Austin Terrio from Brad Keselowski Racing are at the front of the field as we clean up the 5th caution flag of the night. And we listened in on Terrio's radio.
I really want to win this race, but I know if we start changing lanes at the chaos, we just have to play it by ear, but I'm hoping we can just stay in line behind Tyler. I guess I kind of I don't really want him making a move. I want to win, and I want these trucks finishing first, 1 and 2.
That's Crew Chief Chad Kendrick talking to Austin Terrio. Austin made his debut in the ARCA Racing Series last year at Michigan, won that race. He does pretty darn good when he makes his debut. This is his first race of his career in the Camping World Truck Series, and he certainly has a shot at this thing.
See Tyler Reddick on the outside there. Watch when they throw the green flag for Terrio to drag his feet just a bit, get Reddick down in front of him. Those 2 BKR trucks push and push and push all the way to the checker.
Let's have a look at tonight's Ram, Guts, and Glory. 07, Ray Black Jr. drives right through a 12-truck pileup and continues on. He's currently in 6th place. Guts, Glory, Ram.
Right on the outside of his teammate, Corbin Forrester. Nice job by Bobby Dowder's S&S Greenlight Racing.
What a great story. Anytime you come to Daytona and Talladega, you see these teams that struggle to fund their trucks like some of the top trucks, but they are able to get up front and run well.
We're coming to green with 12 laps to go. Who do you like?
Oh, man. I'm going to keep my eye on Ty Dillon. I know he's back a ways, but he's got a lot of truck under him, and he knows how to get to the front.
I like Tyler Reddick.
I think there's going to be a lot of things happen between now and the checker, and I don't see those 2 Fords being able to hang on and win. Oh, look at that. Black Jr. crowds into line.
It was his teammate he shoved over under the double yellow line.
But it was Reddick who got on the gas and got out front and pulled down in front of his teammate, Terrio. And those 2 Brad Keselowski Fords once again run 1-2. And they're going to be hard to pass.
But look at this outside line. That's as far up as we've seen anybody. Watch the desperation Black Jr. uses to get to the bottom. He crowds over. His teammate was right under him and shoved him into the infield.
Crafton's view, he's just going to hang a left there. Wow. Corbin Forrester absolutely nowhere to go. He had to turn left to keep from wrecking.
That's a very stout outside line. We know how fast that truck of Ty Dillon's is. He's on the back of Crafton, and Crafton's pushing the 92 of David Gilliland.
Crafton wants to be closer to the front. We've got 11 laps to go. How long does he have to get himself into a position where he can win from?
They're trying all they can right now, and they're not making any progress, Bill. Maybe that 33 truck of Ty Dillon needs to lead this group. We've seen him push to the front from up there, and maybe that's what Dillon's thinking now. Get to the bottom, get past those 2 trucks that were in front of him, and try to push to the lead.
He's been trying for a long time. He didn't really make any ground up before this last caution flag.
12 trucks in that lead draft. Norm Benning could win it. He's 12th. He's the caboose of this train.
We've seen strange things happen at Daytona.
Legacy up off the bottom.
Oh, he got back in line in that yellow truck in 3rd. Scott Lagasse, whose dad was an exceptional sports car racer and ran the entire first season of the Truck Series, finished 9th in the standings.
Ty Dillon made his way to the outside, didn't get anybody to go with him. He's falling all the way to the back.
That pack is beginning to spread out in 2.
And you watch it spread right back in together. It's going to tighten right back up. That won't last long.
Dean Ryan Ellis very, very slow on the inside of the racetrack.
Now, I don't agree.
If he doesn't pick up the speed or turn left here,
he's not going to make it back.
He will not make it back. NASCAR will be forced to bring out another caution flag.
Entering turn 3.
And there it is. Well, that changes everything.
What about your rookie, your young cats up on that front row? Another restart they got to execute perfectly. Another opportunity for guys to get a run on them. We can't miss a shift. We can't spin a tire. We have to choreograph the move to the lead perfectly. So many things that have got to go right in order for these cats to hang on and win.
Ryan Silas will get the free pass, and we will restart with 14 trucks on the lead lap. A lot of damage to the 911 Memorial truck.
We're inside of 10 laps to go. These guys were right where they wanted to be.
Sure. It's been an all but perfect night for Brad Keselowski Racing so far. Vince?
With the crew chief for the 19, it's Doug Randolph. Boy, your young driver's done a nice job tonight. What's the key now in these final 9 laps to keep the rest of them behind you?
Well, Tyler's done a great job tonight. Austin's done a great job. It's fun watching BKR out front. It's just fun watching these guys go at it. Draw tight forwards, got the pedal to the metal and dragging the whole field around right now. So as long as we can make it to lap 100, we'll just see. It's always a shootout, and just have to see how this falls into play.
How much will the teammates race one another?
I'm sure when it comes down, get the white flag, we're going to race like mad and, see how it falls out.
Thanks, Doug. Matt?
Vince, Eric Jones, always impressive so far at this point. Now, when you look at your driver, he pulled out at one point because the 20 started to pull out, but he ducked back in. Just showing very much maturity. How will and when will he make his move, do you think?
Well, you just got to be patient. Tony Hirschman's a great spotter. He's helping them out, and they're working together. And they just got to work together and make sure we don't get hung. There's just not a lot of good quality trucks left behind us. So it's got to be the right time, and it's got to be the last lap and the last corner, in our opinion. So it's got to be smart. Make sure we don't get hung out.
All right, thank you, Ryan.
2 Fords up front. Then Legacy Chevrolet, Jones in the Toyota. Then 2 more Chevys, then 3 more Toyotas. So getting the manufacturer trucks lined up and working together is going to be difficult here. On the last restart, Reddick chose the outside, and Terrio breathed his truck a little bit. Reddick was able to clear him and get back in line single file. Does that have to happen again for those 2 Fords to have the best possible chance?
It'll happen again and again and again. That's the method. That's how you get to the bottom. Your teammates, you understand what you have to do, and the outside truck will pull in front of the inside.
We're going to make Brad Keselowski agonize just a little longer, but we'll be right back to finish this one off. They will race the final 6 laps, trying to get to the checkered flag. 8 to go now. They'll take 1 to go as they come by right now. And we'll get ready to restart. First, down to Hermie Sadler.
Well, Doug Howe, you're the crew chief for Scott Legacy Jr. Number 1, you good on fuel? And number 2, what kind of advice are you giving to your driver?
Yeah, we're really good on fuel for 2 green-white checkers, and we're trying to stay in line with the body damage, so we're going to try to do something off forward. That's about all we got left.
That's Doug Howe. They're going to wait till turn 4 to make that final move.
That works. That's the same thing Ryan Fugel said for Eric Jones. They're going to also wait. Vince?
Chad Kendricks, the crew chief for Austin Terrio. Your driver starting on the inside, his teammates on the outside. What do you expect these final laps?
We've worked together good all night. We pushed Tyler to the lead early, and we're going to do what we've been doing all night. Tyler's going to sneak down in front of us on this restart. We're going to stay with our teammate and hopefully decide it right here in the trial oval. And I told him, and we're going to be 1-2. I would like to be 1, but if it's Tyler, we're fine with that too. We want to get Brad as 1-2. That's what we came here to do, and that's what we want to do all year. So Austin's on board. He's been great, been doing a good job all night. Really good kid, so it's been fun.
2 Brad Keselowski trucks at the front going for the win.
But they're going to shuffle the deck, and the top 7, the front 7 trucks, among them, only Eric Jones has visited victory lane.
Well, I want to tell you what, too, Mike. This choreographing the start with Reddick pulling over in front of there, that's dangerous. You can get a push from behind. Somebody, if they don't time that right and maybe drag their feet just a little bit too long, guys can jump on them. Talked about make a move right here off 4. Watch this. It works. I've seen it done before.
You've done it before.
That's right, and Kyle Busch did it just a year ago. So off 4, I like that plan. But there's a lot of racing between now and coming off turn 4 for that checkered.
Kyle Busch side drafted off Timothy Peters and just beat him to the line by a foot or 2. Here we go. It'll be 6 laps to finish it off. Reddick and Terrio, Lagasse and Jones, Black and Young, Suarez and Sauter, Crafton and Gilliland, the top 10.
So far, so good for the BKR trucks.
Eric Jones drops back in line as well. Ray Black Jr. pulls up inside the top 5 on that inside line, leaving Tyler Young on the outside.
Tyler has Johnny Sauter behind him. They're losing some ground to that inside line.
Matt Crafton's going to move up, not yet in a position to challenge, but up to 9th place now.
If I'm Matt Crafton, I pull out right now. I've got Ty Dillon behind me. I know Ty wants to go. Let's go. We got to make some moves.
Up in the East Banking, turns 3 and 4. They'll come to the start-finish line and face 5 laps to go.
You might race for points at any track on the circuit, but not at Daytona. You come to Daytona to grab that trophy and get that win. And I know Ty Dillon is desperate for that trophy.
We know Lagasse's strategy is to wait till the last corner. We know Eric Jones' strategy to wait till the last corner. Ty Dillon can't wait for the last corner.
And there he goes. Matt Crafton wouldn't go, so he said, I got to do something. Come on, boys, let's go.
But he's got to have some help, or else.
Well, you flare out there hoping you'll get it. And he didn't.
And back he goes.
It's frustrating because he's the only one that wants to try.
14 trucks on the lead lap. Getting ready to settle it here. 4.5 laps to go. Reddick and Terrio. If they stay hooked up 1-2, can anybody overhaul them?
I just don't see the commitment. I don't see the desire to get to that high side. Lagasse's riding along there. Maybe on the last lap he'll make a move, but anyone from Lagasse on back, if they wait till the last lap, you can't get there. There goes a move. Looked like Gilliland thought about going on the high side.
Well, look at the group of drivers in front. He is the most experienced, and he's run and done well here in Daytona.
He's been in the top 5 in the Daytona 500 before. I think he has a 3rd place finish a couple years ago.
Look how tight those trucks are bunched together. The draft has really pulled them in there. So there's a chance to make a move. What about Brian Silas? He doesn't even have a hood, and he's running inside the top 10.
Ty Dillon has a little bit of help now with Tyler Young.
Come on, Matt, jump out there with
Johnny Sauter. They made his hood all to crap, and look, he's right there hanging tough.
That's the only word that would describe what that hood looks like, Mike. I agree. Just need to get around. Need another truck. Just not getting the help.
But it slowed that group down. Johnny Sauter was right on Matt Crafton's back tailgate when Ty Dillon pulled to the outside of him.
And they're losing the lead draft as they run side by side.
If you get the right push, they won't lose it because they can pull right up. It's frustrating.
Matt Crafton 9th. Last car in that single file lead draft, and time running out. They'll come off turn 4 to 2 laps to go.
A lot of patience being shown by all these guys up here.
You got that right.
In this top 7 or 8 spots.
Too much for my
Travis Quapple slow in the back straightaway. Looks like he has enough speed to make it back to pit road. 9 in a row and nobody can go.
I'll tell you, Travis Quapple is not going very fast. He's in the middle of 3 and 4 right now as the leaders come down the backstretch. A little bit of a gap forming, but between 5th and 6th right now.
You don't think Suarez is pulling off of him to try to catch that draft from David Gilliland and push up there and make a run here late in the going? Maybe a spotter's telling him how they need to go about it.
If they make it to the white flag under green, the next flag will end the race. Here they come. White flag.
Right
this
here.
is it.
A little bit there. White flag.
There goes a 20. He laid back.
Here comes Suarez. He pulled to the outside. He got a little bit of momentum. Pulled to the outside of Ray Black Jr. Nobody went with him.
That's surprising.
Yeah, that was a great move. I love what he did. He gave it a shot.
No help.
Pay off, but he got 0 help.
Crafton side by side for 8th. 2 Fords up front. Austin Terrio trying to be the first Daytona winner in his first start since Robert Presley in 2002.
Will Jones push Lagasse? Can they make a run here off turn 4? They've gapped it back a little bit. Jones pull up on Lagasse and make a run or no?
Terrio laid off a little bit here, trying to get a little momentum as they exit 4.
3 wide in the back. The battle is for the win. Here they fan out, and out in front of everyone is the number 19, Tyler Reddick.
You win, buddy. Keep going. They're 5 wide here, we need to get away from. You won. Hey, guys, great job. That's the way to start a year. Proud of you guys. Great execution. That's how we do it, guys. Great, outstanding job.
A 4-wide finish. Unofficially, Eric Jones second, Austin Terrio third, Scott Lagasse fourth, then Black and Gilliland.
We may have to review that. Ray Black Jr. went down below the double yellow line. Not sure he improved his position. Well, NASCAR will take a look at that.
He was running fifth and he finished fifth, so I don't think he did, but he was definitely out of bounds. But what a great move by Eric Jones. He got to the outside. He had a shot at winning. Look at that. Stocked up 4 wide across the checkered. What a
Black,
great race.
I don't believe improved his position, but we'd have to see where everyone else was relative to the 07. You can see he wasn't forced down there. He drove down there. Sparks flying.
Can't believe they didn't crash. Can you?
Eric Jones.
Stay bottom. Don't open the bottom.
Wow, what a run.
3 wide top. 3 wide top. Get up. Top. Get up. Stay up top. Stay up top.
We could hear him. He never backed off when they fanned out in front of him.
Eric Jones made the same move that Kyle Busch made last year to win the race, and he finishes second. We'll be back to Daytona for more, but first, let's join Jay and Dan in L.A. Tyler Reddick celebrates his first career win in his 18th start. Previously, he was fourth 3 times, and he becomes the 4th driver in the series to score his first career win at Daytona. For Brad Keselowski Racing, 5th career win and first time to victory lane at Daytona.
We saw this one coming too, Mike. Tyler Reddick just got better and better as the 2014 season wound down. Knew that he'd be a contender in 2015, but man, to win at Daytona, your first win, what a feeling that's got to be.
It'll be the 5th time that a Ford has won the season opener at Daytona, and the first time since 2006.
Mike, you asked me who my pick was when we got towards the end. I picked Tyler Reddick because he had his teammate behind him. That was the biggest key.
I think that's 8 straight that Toyota had won here at Daytona. Is that right, Phil?
Yes, it is.
And tonight, the Ford pulls the victory lane.
Austin Terrio was a loyal teammate, and he gave it a great try. Hermie.
Scott Lagasse, great job by your team. Top 5 for the most of the second part of the race. It came down to a couple of restarts at the end. What was the strategy, and what happened coming from turn 4 back to get the checker flag? You guys were all over the racetrack.
Yeah, we had our game plan, knew what we did. We're a little hindered. Hats off to the NTS guys. I mean, they built this thing. The nose is beat in after that wreck, and it still ran good. RCR, thank you for the power, but had some head of steam, and the 29 did a good job. He took care of his teammate, and that's what you got to do in this deal, so that was cool. I wish I'd have had my teammates there, too.
Scott Lagasse, he gets a top 5. Matt?
Hermie, what a Daytona debut for Eric Jones. First time here, last lap. Walk us through just how difficult to be patient waiting to make your move.
It's tough. I didn't really think we had anybody in front. I didn't know if the 20 could go and make it happen on the top. He just had too much nose damage. But awesome Tundra. It was fast. I just wish we could have had man, I wish we could have won. Second's always no fun. But, it's good to start the season off strong. It'll be nice to go into Atlanta with such a strong start and not having to be make-up all year. So, just thankful for Toyota for this opportunity to run full-time. It's going to be a fun year. Really looking forward, like I said, to getting to Atlanta, getting back on the track, and seeing what our mile-and-a-half program's all about.
Congratulations. Second place finish. Hermie?
Austin Terrio, if you started this weekend knowing that you'd have that kind of a race, finish second, as well as helping your teammate win, would you have accepted that?
Probably not. I mean, I'm really proud of the guys. They brought an unbelievably fast truck tonight. The Cooper Standard Career for Veterans Ford was packing some power. As you could see at the end, I'm really excited for Tyler. He's running for a championship, and I think this is some pretty good momentum for them. And, the 29's running for an owner's championship. So solid finish leaving Daytona, a little bit of damage, but we'll bring it back and, go from here.
Very solid effort for BKR. Very impressed with Austin Terrio. Matt?
Well, they may want to review 5th place. As you said, Phil, Black appeared to improve his position on David Gilliland while he was below the yellow line as they came to the checker. But what a wild 4-wide finish behind our race winner. And how about Eric Jones coming from 4th in turn 4 to 2nd, using the same move that Kyle Busch used to win the race here last year.
It's a sharp young man. He can flat wheel a truck, and it's going to be fun to watch him race for this championship.
And he may have to race that young man in victory lane, Tyler Reddick, for this championship. Both those guys going to contend all year long.
Promise you, there's no one that can hang on to a sideways truck better than Tyler Reddick. We saw it all last year. He's got a lot of truck control. Here comes his teammate to give him a high five, and there's probably going to be some hugs going on.
That was a team effort right there.
Make that happen.
Vince?
What a great night for Brad Keselowski, racing with 2 cars in the top 5, including the winner, 19-year-old Tyler Reddick, putting it in victory lane at Daytona for his first career win. Your first career win, and you did it at Daytona. Yeah. How good does that feel?
It feels amazing. I can't begin to say how thankful I am for everybody a part of the Brad Keselowski racing team. All these guys here, seriously, everyone here made this possible, and we wouldn't be here in victory lane tonight if it wasn't for each and every one of them. So I really got to thank all of them. I mean, everybody here made this possible. My teammate, I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for him too. Austin Theriault. Great job by everybody. I'm sorry to hog the mic, but yeah, I can't thank my sponsors enough. Our Draw Tight F-150 was outstanding tonight. We got here in victory lane Daytona. It's unbelievable.
What's going through your mind? You're coming off turn 4, heading toward the checkered flag.
Honestly, there wasn't a lot going on behind me, so I was pretty rest assured. I had my teammate behind me. He's an outstanding guy, and he as you can see there on the television, he would have done just about anything to keep anyone from getting to me, and he sure did all he could. So I really got to thank him for that.
Well done, Tyler Reddick, his first career victory, and he does it at Daytona. Matt.
And Vince, unofficially 5th is Ray Black Jr. You just watched the video. Walk us through what was going through your mind.
Oh, man, that was wild. I don't know. I looked behind me, and they were all coming out on the outside, so I went up there to block a little bit, then I came back down, and I see him going 3 wide, so I figured I could sneak up on her, but it didn't work, so I'll take a top 5. So.
And what also about the big wreck in turn 3?
Yeah, man, I was close to getting in both wrecks, at the end, and when they started just spinning, I don't know, I just locked up the brakes and kind of steered my way through it, and somehow I didn't get hit, man, and it was wild freaking finish right there.
Very productive day for Ray Black Jr.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a great summation.
I couldn't agree more.
No. You're right. A wild race and a wild finish. This event never disappoints.
It really didn't. And, half our field was taken out in that pretty much that one big major accident. And but we still had a lot of good trucks still running. Brad Keselowski's truck did a super great job running 1-2 for the good portion of the end of this race. And at the end of the race, they had to hold off a bunch of hungry guys, too.
We talked about Scott Lagasse at the start of the show. This is his favorite track, some of his best finishes here. Obviously, tonight was a career night in the Truck Series for that man. Also, Ray Black Jr., a great charge to the finish. And I love the move that Eric Jones made to give him a shot at winning this race.
6 of the top 7 finishers enjoyed their best career finish tonight in Daytona. As the celebration continues, let's go back out to Los Angeles.